is Random Doll Account and welcome back to another video. So I had to delay a video that I had pre-scheduled a bit because I was not expecting the Jason Wu poppies to drop. So there's a lot of big feelings going out there, and I also have big feelings, and I've done some research, and I am going to go ahead and react to these dolls because I think this is important enough that me being here at 5 a.m. is warranted. So let's go ahead. That's why my hair looks like a mess. Let's go ahead and talk about these dolls. So I've got everything pulled up right here. So in the very case that you're like, oh, why is she looking down? She's looking down at the photos. So honestly, I don't know why I wasn't expecting this collection to drop anytime soon. For some reason, I was like, oh, they're going to save the Jason Wu poppies for last. I think that it's because we've already had a lot of Jason Wu this year. So I was like, okay, well, they're probably going to drop the Jason Wu poppies late this year. So honestly, I went into this thinking that it was going to be a David collection. I'm not even going to lie. But hey, you just like take what you get when you get it, right? Did it kind of come at a bad time for most people? Yes. Like I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, the prices on these dolls, but I also have some points to make on that. That them coming at the same time that like everything else is coming in. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So let's go ahead and react to this collection. All right, so first up, we have Anniversary Tweed Poppy. Boop. So she has an edition size of 800, and her expected ship date is fall 2025. She is lottery, so 800 for a poppy lottery is not fun. She is in the skin tone blush, which we've been getting a lot of recently. Have you guys noticed that? And her W Club price is $199 with a $20 tariff surcharge, which, come on, let's just not lie to each other here. It's a $220 doll. Like, the tariff situation is not going away anytime soon. This is just going to be what we have to deal with. It's a $220 doll. So, yeah, that's a lot. Can we just say that? I will say I was at the Stilettos Out convention last year whenever they previewed this doll, and I was one of the people who did not take photos because I do what I'm asked. But I really loved this doll whenever I initially saw her in the sneak peek, and I still love her now. I think she's so fun. I know a lot of people criticize this new screening for being a little bit too mature. Um, in this perspective with Anniversary Tweed, I think that this is the most mature looking of the bunch, but it doesn't give me mature in like a actual woman who is like, out on the streets and is older type of way. It gives me Poppy is doing a little bit of a draggy kind of thing. Like she almost looks a little bit drag, which I love. Like I love the idea of like Poppy, having her little drag moment and like really overdoing it. She's a model. I love the idea that she can like really change up her look to look a little bit older, a little bit more draggy. I don't think that that means that she's still not young. I think that it means like, hey, Poppy did a little bit of a, interesting new thing. I love the fact that Jason did the tweed with the chiffon. I think that that's super fun. And once again, this hair, it's very draggy to me. Like, I was like, whenever I saw this doll, I was like, oh, it's like super fun and draggy. Like, I did not see it as like an actual older woman. I saw it as like, oh, this is like a young woman doing drag, which I know is like a take that I personally have not heard a lot of, but I really do feel that way. I think she's super fun. I enjoy her. I'm not even gonna. There's nothing to really say. It's a poppy in this really draggy format, right? With these big pouty kissy lips and this big hair, and then she has like this cute little tweed on, and like poppy and tweed. I mean, dolls and tweed. Like a doll just looks nice in tweed. I'm just saying, like she looks like a good poppy. and with a good poppy outfit. Does she look very different? Yes, I will say that. Like, she looks like she's in drag. So if you're not into, like, draggy extra type of things, I can see how you wouldn't be into this, but I'm into this. I like this. I think that this is fun. I what I see is I see a young girl just like having a lot of fun with makeup instead of it being like trying to look older. So I really like this doll. I did go ahead and put in my bids and we'll talk about that in a minute too, because I did some extra precautions with these edition sizes that I'll tell you guys about in a minute. Yeah, but basically it was inspired by Jason Wu's 2011 Resort collection, which I've always thought that resort collection gave a little bit Chanel. It gives a little bit, it's very gossip girly. Like, I've been thinking about that collection. I'm like, that's a very gossip girl-esque collection. Like, I think that I could see Blair Waldorf wearing most of the things in that collection, which I think is fun. So yeah, no, I like this doll. I really don't have anything that critical to say about it. It's poppy and tweed, which is always going to look good. And then it's in a very draggy style, which I like drag, so that's fun. No notes. All right, now this is one that I have more interesting things about to say. So we're gonna go ahead and look at Suniss and St. Bart. Boop. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about price, details, etc., etc. So her edition size is also 800. Her ship date early fall 2025, and the price, once again, it's gonna be pretty much $220. Let's just not lie to each other. Like, I have a Martini Social Eugenia over there. I had to pay a tariff surcharge for it. It's just life, at this point in time. So let's go ahead and look at her. Um, Her skin tone in this particular face that Jason did, I think it's super fun. This light honey with this like very like neutral kind of face. I see this doll being very popular amongst freestylers. This doll looks like it's going to be really, really fun to play with. Especially, like, that's the thing, the outfit, like, not to throw shade at anybody, but I'm like, this outfit is 2011. Like, this is the Gossip Girl outfit. Like, Blair Waldorf was wearing this outfit in 2011. I swear by it. Which I have one or two thoughts about. Um, I am like, okay, this doll is pretty. This outfit is like, there's some classical elements in this outfit that I think, once again, would be fun to style with. But the outfit together, it's a little dated. The teal with the polka dots, that's that was big in the early 2010s. In fact, it was. Um, I'm gonna get so flamed for this video. I can already tell. Okay. Um, but the doll itself is gorgeous, and honestly, I think that it, like, you could do a lot with her. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think the doll itself is like a 10 out of 10, but the outfit is giving me 2010 flashbacks. And considering that this is 2011 resort wear, I feel like I'm valid in saying that. Um, Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The makeup is beautiful, but it's neutral. In this context, it doesn't look draggy at all, right? Like, because it's so neutral in the way that Jason kind of colored this, and then you have this tan skin, the face itself is just super dreamy. It doesn't look draggy at all. It just looks like very like, whereas the tweed one, I would say, it looks more draggy because of more bold colors to it, right? So you really get to experience the shapes of that particular screening. This one is a much, much sweeter, smoother take on the matter. I can see this like this face with this hair bump and like all of it being really great, and maybe like some of the Springs collection outfits. This doll looks like it would be good in a lot of different things, to be honest with you. I can see, for me personally, I did once again put in for this because I have that monogram collection coming in, and I'm like, oh, this doll would look beautiful in some of those monogram outfits. So that's kind of why I went for her. But I can see this doll being used in a lot of different contexts. I think that this doll is going to be popular amongst people who love to style and redress and have fun with their dolls in that particular manner. I think that if you're someone who's more like, oh, I want things that are high fashion, forward thinking, edgy, blah, 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 this is probably not as much for you. But man, that face is so good. I'm like looking at it right now. I'm like, oh, her face is like, is peak. It's so nice. Like, if I have to go with like nicest doll to just have to be like a doll to play with, this doll is probably going to be a lot of fun for people. So I love this doll, from that perspective. The outfit, once again, it's dated. Like, I think it's dated. Um, yep, sound off. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. The polka dots with the teal. Like, come on now. Come on now. Let's not say that that's a popular thing in 2025. This is 2009. This is a 2009 outfit. This is a 2010 outfit. And that just is what it is. So, all right, let's go to the most interesting dolls in the collection. The dolls with the hand sewn and the hand beaded and da 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 da. It's the ones that people have the most opinions about. So, iconic moment, Poppy Parker. Let's get into the facts. So, da 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 da. Okay. This doll has an edition size of 500 dolls. It is a price of, they're saying $265 plus shipping and handling. But we all know tariffs are going to happen with these dolls. And it just is what it is. So it's $290. Okay. I'm just putting that out there. Just delivering it to the general populace. Okay. She is in cream. This doll was inspired by a dress that was made for Michelle Williams that Jason Wu created. It has hand beaded detailing on the dress, and this dress was not hand beaded inside of the Integrity Toys warehouses. It was hand beaded with Jason Wu's team. So a lot of people have problems with the price. A lot of people have problems with the shape of this doll. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. Face to toe. Face, gorgeous. 10 out of 10. It's beautiful. I'm not even like breathtakingly beautiful face. I love that doll's face. She has the most like chic, beautiful, just like cheekiness. And then there's like a touch of mod to this eye that I love. I know a lot of people really like their poppies extra, extra sweet. I like it in sweet, and I like her a little bit salty too. I like both. Like, that's my pick. I like both. I like diva, and I like sweet. And I think that she's a model, and I think that she could do both. Um, okay, so let's go down to this dress. All right, so it's chiffon, and then they beat it on chiffon. That's very hard to do. That sucks. I have taken some hand beading classes before. Never again, guys. Like, that stuff is so tedious. Oh my god. It takes a million years. You just keep on having to do it. It's like, it's stressful, okay? So, like, anybody who's out here saying that these beads need to be even smaller, no, don't do that. Like, do you know the price of how expensive this doll would be if they needed to do an even smaller bead on the chiffon? Oh my god, this doll would be insanely expensive. Like, it would be like $500. Like, it would be so crazy. So I'm cool with that. Um, do I think that she looks a little bit thicker on the midriff? Yes. how do I put this the right way? Of course, she's going to look thicker on the midriff if the midriff is all beading. I think that this is a doll that once you get her into a room and she has lighting on her and the light is going to hit those beads, it's going to look far more flattering. This looks like a situation, and I really do feel this way, where the stock photos versus what's actually going to be presented to us are two completely different things. Spoiler alert: I have Martini Social over here, which you already know. But like whenever I was initially looking at her, I was like, "Oh, she's a lot prettier in real life," because there are details that you couldn't see in the pictures on that doll. This is what I think is going to happen here. I think that this doll is going to shine in a room with some good lighting. Truly, I think that that waist issue will go away as the light hits the dress. But right now, obviously, we just have stock photos. So, and then I'll go ahead and say that these accessories are, dare I say, a little bit basic. I mean, I understand why they are that basic, but because the dress has is just so much, right? This like hand beaded chiffon is just going to be crazy. Like that just is what it is. But yeah, I'll definitely say that the shoes and the accessories they're fine. Like it's nothing to write home about. They're very simple, and I understand why the idea was keep it simple with the accessories because the dress has so much on it. But I also understand how people, whenever you're asking $290 for a doll, are being very like picky about that, you know? Yeah, but and then we get Portrait in Black 2. So, Portrait in Black 2. Let's talk about her. She has an edition size of 300. In this poppy economy, oh my God, 300 edition size is crazy. Her skin tone is blush. Her hair color is raven. She is also $290. Um, Honestly, I love this doll. I love this doll. I think that she's photographed so well because black is so slimming naturally that the black applique, oh my God, words. The black appliques on the chiffon looks a lot more slenderizing. Now, with that being said, I once again have the opinion of I think that this all will look better in real life because if it's already a lot more slenderizing inside of this photo um, as the original icon moment or iconic moment, then out of probability, this doll is going to look like very slender in real life. Also, iconic moment is not tan, it's gray. So, like, that's you see, that's the other thing about this. I'm like, okay, if iconic moment is not tan in real life, but it's gray in real life, then that's going to definitely be a thing where I have a feeling that the stock photos for that doll are just not very good. Um, and I understand why that is that the way it is. It's just like sometimes photos just don't like compared to the real thing. That's what happened with the Giselle from convention. She looks way better in real life, right? Like some dolls are just like that. Iconic moment, however, I think that this doll looks gorgeous. I understand criticism of, oh, the screening is matronly, the screening is whatever. Once again, I don't really see it. I think that the only thing that's matronly about the screening possibly is the eyebrows because she has this really high arch. But once you take the eyebrows out of the equation and you're just looking at the face, she looks very young. I think that people just don't really like the idea of Poppy having a draggier eyebrow. I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of love it. I love the idea of Poppy having this like really draggy eyebrow. I think it looks fun. And once again, like maybe it's just my in my brain. I'm like, okay, well, she's a model, so this idea of Poppy like having a little bit of a covered brow end, and then the artist doing a little bit something extra on the eyebrow is not a crazy thought to me. Like I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. Now, I think for a lot of people, if they just changed the eyebrow and they made it more like straight flat, it would have changed the entire face. But honestly, I like it. I think it looks good. Hey, sorry, I like drag dolls too, so it tracks for me. It's like, my tea. But I love this doll. I think it might be my favorite. That's a controversial take. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's my favorite. And honestly, the conversations that I've had with people that are going after this collection, this seems to be one of their favorites as well. So, you know. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. It's the black version of this of iconic moment. So, the one big difference is, of course, this makeup, which just said I love it. I understand why people don't like it because of the eyebrows. I think it's because of the eyebrows, honestly. But yeah, this like poppy flip, it's classic. I love it. I think she's going to be easy to like redress if you are into that. But I also love this dress. I love it in black 10 times more than I love it in that like gray-y, beigey thing. So yeah, I love this all. Needless to say, I'm going after both of them. And let's talk about how I'm going after both of them. So um, I basically was talking to a bunch of my friends. One of them, we are going and we're going like ham on it. So we've both put in all of our memberships into trying to just secure as many as possible for us both. So basically, it's like a friendship pact. So we're just using the power of friendship in order to try and secure us these dolls. So I have a lot of memberships going in on these because I really, really want, specifically, if I could get at the very least like Portrait in Black 2, I would be so happy. But I'm like, the probability, like the odds, I did some like basic math, right? Assuming that there's like 6,000 memberships going into this lottery for $300, there is a 1 in 20 odds of anybody getting this doll, um, which is crazy, right? Like those odds are not in my favor. I'll just put it that way. Like that's less than 50%. I wouldn't take those odds on pretty much anything. And then like iconic moment, it's a little bit less worse. So the math says iconic moment is a 1 in 12 chance. So yeah, that's still not pretty good odds. And then the two 800 edition size dolls are a 7.5 chance, assuming 6,000 memberships going into each doll. Obviously, that's going to be different depending on the math. I just basically went, okay, what's the most like popular doll that's been pre-ordered, times it by two. That feels fair. So assuming that that's the case, these are going to be very, very, very hard to get. I think a lot of people are going to be upset. Probably I'm going to end up upset, but that's okay. Life isn't just about dolls. It's just dolls are just a fun part of it. Let's go ahead and talk about these prices. Okay, this is the number one criticism that I have heard throughout everything, and it has to do with prices. And I'm going to make a point here that people are probably not going to like, but it just is what it is. So I went all the way back to 2009 and 2010. Bergdorf Goodman Poppy Parker, at the time that it was released in 2010, was $150. I pulled out the original price of Portrait in Black Poppy Parker that was released in 2009. Okay, so they were released within a year of each other, and I'm saying this to make it like very clear. It was $85. Portrait in Black was originally $85. Portrait in Black to Bergdorf was a 76.47% price increase. Obviously, I think 13 whenever Bergdorf came out. So I was not the person that was like paying attention at all to what was happening with Bergdorf Goodman Poppy Parker. But I would love for some of my collectors that have been collecting for a very long time to please sound in the comments because I cannot find like anything about this. What was the original reaction whenever Bergdorf came out and it was that price? I'm very curious because that 76.47% increase for a Jason Wu doll versus whatever is significantly more than the 800 edition size poppies that are now. So I'm also going to add this. $85 in 2009 is the equivalent to $127.99 now. And $150 in 2009 is about $225.87 now. So the price of a Poppy Parker has increased. The base price of Poppy Parker has increased, period. Um, it's had a dramatic rise in price by about $30. So that is something to know, okay? Because whenever I did the math on what the average price of a poppy is now, which is $165, and then I put it in comparison to the $220 price that we're probably going to end up paying for these Jason Wu dolls, for the first two, it's a 33.3% increase. So it's significantly less than the Bergdorf poppy versus the Portrait in Black poppy price, right? And then 165 to 290 is a 70.556% increase. So honestly, the price of these super expensive, like $300 poppies, is closer to the percentage increase of Bergdorf than the other two. Now, I'm going to say this. Everyone's going to flame me on this. Maybe the problem is not the price of these dolls. Maybe the problem is the price of the base Poppy Parker dolls that we're getting now. What I found whenever I did the math was that the price increase that Jason is putting on these dolls is not unreasonable. Um, Honestly, it's far more reasonable than the Bergdorf increase back in 2010. It's the fact that Poppy now is significantly more expensive than Poppy whenever she came out in 2009, to a point that the type of money that you were spending in Poppy in 2009 would not go the same today if you put it in today's dollars. You would still need an extra $30 to $35 most of the time in order to get a Poppy. Um, Sorry. Nobody's bringing this up, and I think it's a conversation that we need to have. The $290 doll, it's a 75.76% price increase. That is less than Bergdorf was to Portrait in Black 15 years ago. You know? And this doll is hand beaded with chiffon, and it's going for that type of price increase. Bergdorf, I think Bergdorf is a beautiful doll, for the record. But let's not lie to each other. Bergdorf has a lot less regarding construction and materials than the Portrait in Black Portrait in Black 2, right? And then it has an iconic moment. And yet Bergdorf had a higher price increase at that time, right? So keeping that in mind, right? And keeping the fact that Bergdorf is closer to the tweed poppy that we just got from this collection than it is to those hand beaded chiffon gowns, this feels reasonable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm sorry. So, in summation about the whole price thing. A, what is making the price of Poppy specifically go up so much that it's at this rate? B, maybe we need to just think about what the price increases were in the past a little bit more in order to kind of have a more fair conversation. Now, with that being said, flame them, like capitalism, rah, 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 like obviously, say whatever you want about the prices. Like, obviously, everything's expensive right now. Like, yeah, go for it. Like, I'm just saying that Jason Wu dolls are typically very expensive, just period, because it's Jason Wu. But these are significantly less of an increase in price than what Jason Wu dolls were in the past. And I'm saying that if I were an adult in 2010 and I saw Bergdorf for $150, and I didn't put my lottery in for that because of the price, right? I would be kicking myself now. And I'm really keeping that in mind with these dolls. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this yap session. I kind of see this like, I can see this channel as like, having a little kiki with the friends. So, that's why I'm always so unserious here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a long video. I know there's a lot of ranting going on. I apologize. I do post on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I also have some unboxings and reviews coming up. Oh man, I've got all types of stuff to show you guys. So if you're looking forward to that, please go ahead and, like, comment, subscribe, etc., engage, engage, engage. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.